Well, this was not the video I expected to make today. It looks like we will not be seeing any new South Park until 2025, according to Matt Stone and Trey Parker in a new Vanity Fair article about the public opening of Casa Bonita. This is a bit of a shock. It's incredibly unusual for South Park to skip their season in a calendar year, previously only happening during lockdown in 2020 and 2021, but it seems like there are a few reasons that this delay is happening, including avoiding the upcoming election. There is plenty to extrapolate from this article, even though it gives relatively little in terms of explanation, so let's get into it.
Oh, jeez!
Hey, real quick, if you like South Park, I highly recommend checking out U2's South Park collection. They have amazing collectible figurines and super high quality plushies. I've got a bunch of these, but my favorites are this new chef plushie and the boys with their ninja gear from Good Times with Weapons. If you use my link in the description, you can get a 5% discount anytime, so check them out. So one of the big reasons up front that the South Park delay is happening is that it's a third consecutive election featuring Donald Trump, who is obviously repped in South Park via Mr. Garrison. The article talked about this. The pair tell Vanity Fair that they're about done with satirizing the Republican candidate. We've tried to do South Park through 4 or 5 presidential elections, and it is such a hard thing it's such a mind scramble, and it seems like it takes outsized importance, Stone says. Obviously, it's fucking important, but it kind of takes over everything, and we just have less fun, Parker adds. I don't know what more we could possibly say about Trump. The creators, also known for their Tony-winning musical, The Book of Mormon, reveal in our interview that South Park will not return until 2025, bypassing the November election. Part of this has to do with waiting for Paramount to figure all their shit out, Parker says, but skipping Trump? Honestly, it's on purpose, Stone tells me. So there is a lot here in this article. Obviously, the big headline is that they want to avoid the election and that they're sick of satirizing Trump, which is very understandable after their previous attempt to run their season alongside the election, season 20 back in 2016. As I'm sure many of you recall, Trump's victory completely upended the plans for the show that year, and because of its quick production schedule, they had to scramble last minute to adjust to the reality of the election outcome. And this is very apparent in some of the scenes immediately following the election.
Hi kids, I'm Bill Clinton, and I was almost the first gentleman in America. Thank you.
It's just very clear that this was not the story they were trying to tell. They had also inserted Garrison as the Trump stand-in and essentially lost him as an easy implementable character for 4 years until he returned in the vaccination special after the 2020 election, which was another election that they pointedly avoided. Personally, I did expect them to actually cover the election this year. With a new season bypassing the first quarter of the year where the show aired the past 2 seasons, it seemed like the actual plan was just to run it alongside the election. Plus, the last episode of South Park, not including the Paramount Plus specials, was specifically about Garrison's fears about the upcoming election, showing him relapsing into his rallying lifestyle and explicitly expressing that he doesn't really want to go through that process again.
I don't want to go through all that again. I just want to stay in South Park with you.
Well, I guess we'll just have to see what happens.
This obviously felt a bit like Matt and Trey expressing their own feelings about it as well, but it really seemed like they were gearing up for another election season. But honestly, Trey's assertion that the show becomes less fun during the overtly political seasons I think is not only understandable, but rings true with the fans of the series as well. Season 20 is not particularly enjoyed, and fans have long expressed their desire for the show to get back to the kid-focused stories. And Stone's words in the article reflect this. It's just way more fun to be like, oh, Cartman's gonna dress up like a robot, Stone says.
Greetings, I am the Osimo 4000.
But this is also clearly just a part of the equation, because Trey said something else pretty important here, that they're waiting for Paramount to figure all their shit out. I think this is likely in reference to a few different things. For one, there has been a major ongoing lawsuit between Warner Brothers and Paramount over the South Park Paramount specials, which were an obvious loophole used to circumvent their Warner Bros. Exclusive streaming contracts.
What is going on?
Oh, nothing. Your son and his friends just made exclusive deals for multiple streaming services.
Basically, the South Park series is entirely streaming on Max, while the South Park specials have been exclusive to Paramount Plus. This year, things were meant to change. The upcoming season 27 was going to be the first traditional season to go to Paramount Plus after release instead of to Max. However, the remaining 26 seasons would remain on Max until 2025, at least here in the United States. I think that this is likely the big reason Paramount is choosing to wait until 2025 for season 27, basically launching the new season of South Park alongside the entire South Park library as it moves to Paramount+. This gives them two major selling points instead of just new episodes of South Park the day after they air on Comedy Central. I think it would be fair to expect fans to be blindsided when seasons 1 through 26 still sit on Max, while 27 drops on Paramount+. So I do understand this move logically. This also comes on the heels of some major layoffs at Paramount at their television division, and statements about those changes have hints as to why this might be the strategy. To be clear, this is not a decision based on how PTVS performed. This move is the result of significant changes in the TV and streaming marketplace and the need to streamline our company. Now, this is obviously corporate damage control trying to prevent major stock slides once they fired a bunch of people, but I do think the quote about streamlining the company holds true to this potential South Park strategy. South Park living on two separate platforms has not been met positively by fans, and so waiting until the entire library moves back over to P+ to start releasing new episodes, by and large, makes a lot of sense. This also raises major questions about the specials, though. It was always clear that these specials were concocted to circumvent that HBO contract. I have two major questions about this. One, will we see the one remaining Paramount Plus special we were supposed to get in 2024, or is that also delayed until 2025? And maybe the bigger question, once South Park is back in Paramount in its entirety, will they continue the specials experiment, or will they instead abandon them and return to the 10-episode structure? I think returning to 10-episode seasons would make it unbelievably obvious that the specials were just a ploy to move South Park episodes from Max to Paramount Plus, despite the exclusivity agreements, but many fans have not liked the format of 2 specials plus 6-episode seasons. I see countless people lament the loss of the 10-episode seasons. Personally, I actually really liked the 2 special 6-episode format. Each special is the length of 2 episodes, so we're getting the exact same number of hours of South Park content each year, and it spreads the release schedule across the year more evenly. The 10-episode season gives us about 3 months of episodes before the discourse dies down for the rest of the year. It also allows them to spread the social commentary out so that it isn't just the stuff happening in the fall or whatever season it releases. But I do understand that people feel like the 6-episode runs are just too short. In my dream scenario, the show would run 10-episode seasons in the fall and 2 specials a year also, but I don't think Matt and Trey are interested in returning to what is effectively a 14-episode season. It also hasn't quite felt like they ever really found a way to make the specials feel that special. Outside of those initial post-COVID specials with the older cast, they often just felt like supersized episodes of the show, so I don't think I would really mind if they abandoned them and just went back to the 10 episodes. There are obviously still a handful of questions, like when can we expect the new season in 2025? Will it be a first quarter of the year release like seasons 25 and 26, or will we be waiting a long time, like until the following fall, like so many of the 10-episode seasons before? Will we even get the second 2024 special on Paramount Plus, or is that being bypassed as well? What is the future of the specials? Will they even exist beyond 2024? The most recent special, South Park: The End of Obesity, seemed to be pretty popular. My coverage of the special did really well here on the channel. It seems like the show is still just trucking along popularity-wise, despite the fact that its streaming is split between multiple services. I have to say, it is definitely disappointing to me to not be getting the season this year, even though I do think fans will generally be happy to hear that the next season is avoiding the overt political commentary alongside the election, and that they're more interested in having fun telling stories about the kids. But that is a long wait between seasons. The specials obviously help, but with the massive success we saw last year and the way the show's fan base has expanded and been reinvigorated more recently, it could be seen as kind of a bad business decision not to capitalize on that success as quickly as possible. The longer the wait between specials, the less the show is in the cultural consciousness. Those weekly releases covering the hot button issues in early 2023 really pushed the show into the zeitgeist and the algorithm. Though I do think if any show can make a splash regardless of delay, it's South Park. It's going to be fascinating to see how the show handles the aftermath of the election, given the Garrison/Trump of it all, and whether or not these specials will be a thing of the past. I am excited that the entire show is going to be on one streaming service though. But how do you guys feel about the South Park delay? Are you bummed the show isn't returning this year, or are you just glad they're avoiding the election? Let me know below in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
I stay mellow watching Johnny two cellos. He talks cartoons, he's a really cool fellow. He keeps you posted it on adult cartoons. If that's what you're into, then grab a spoon and a very big bowl of your favorite cereal. Feels like Saturday morning cartoon material. Johnny Two Cellos, watch him on YouTube. Now enjoy this groove and bust a move.